Hey, what's going on YouTube? Jamo TV HD. Obviously we out here with the Nintendo Switch, and we out here a year later. Like legit, 2nd of March 2017, man was driving up to Asda at 12 midnight to cop this for the next day when it was being officially released. We're here a year later now, so I want to really go into, was it worth it? Was it worth it with this thing? So we're going to find out right now. Now, if we start talking about the body, first of all, the console is not extremely strong. It doesn't look like it's crazy strong. Like, I haven't dropped it on concrete yet, thank God. I ain't dropped it on concrete, so I don't really know if it's going to bounce back off the concrete or if it's going to die straight away. Tutus, people are giving these to their children, and obviously their children, every time my little girl holds this, she drops it. Battery life is quite decent. I think they say, what, 4 to 5 hours? I think I'm probably getting 4 hours kind of thing on screen time. I have it plugged into my dock all the time when I'm not using it. I literally come home, put it on the dock, start playing games, and then in the morning I take it off the dock, go to work, and I play games on the train. One of the main problems of the Nintendo Switch was the kickstands. And that is still one of the main problems. Like, you know, I thought they'd be able to do some kind of peripheral that would go in here and, you know, be a stronger kickstand, but I've not been able to see that yet. But I mean, it's not really a problem because there's lots of different accessories, which I'll show you later, which act as a kickstand or act as a secondary kickstand to the Nintendo Switch. And then we go on to the controllers, you know, the Joy-Cons mainly. I'll go into third party and pro controllers afterwards kind of thing. But obviously, yeah, since I've had the console, I actually had the red and blue controllers, obviously. These are just two random, this is a random green controller from the Splatoon set and a random blue controller, I think, which might be an original controller, yeah. They're a bit too small. I do have big hands, but once you put them in the grip or you know, you're using them on the console, it feels like there's a bit more girth and it's a lot easier to use them. I'm not really too sure about using them separately like this, unless obviously I've got the little, you know, the little handle or the little strap on there. The analogs feel fine, but I wouldn't really use them for fighting games. I did try to use them in Brawl Out and it wasn't happening for me. It works a little bit better in Street Fighter, but one thing that is really good with the Joy-Cons is the fact that they split into pairs, obviously, to become, you know, two separate controllers. So you can play a lot of two-player games straight out the box, literally just by bringing your Nintendo Switch and the two controllers that are on either side of it, which is kind of decent. So, you know, as soon as you buy the Nintendo Switch, you're ready for two-player. I know with like PS4 or Xbox, you have to buy that extra £60 controller. But let me not fool you, I'll get into the Nintendo pricing in a second. The Pro Controller is also quite decent as well. It's got all the same, you know, buttons that the Joy-Cons do. And it's just a more traditional console, a traditional controller that people will use when they're usually playing it on the TV. You can use it in tabletop mode. I don't really see many people doing that. I don't really see many people using tabletop mode, to be honest. I've never really used tabletop mode myself. Tabletop mode is more of a thing that you do to stunt. Like, you know, if you're going to stunt on somebody, be like, yeah, oh, this is my Nintendo Switch. Oh, yeah, it's in tabletop mode. But when you're keeping it real, as far as I'm concerned, you're just playing it in portable mode or you're playing it in TV mode. I don't feel like there needs to be an in-between, but obviously Nintendo had to try and do a little something to say, yeah, this is what you can do. But yeah, it's all mad. So now I want to go on to games. Now games, I'm not even gonna do a long thing right now. I'm gonna tell you how it is. All the first-party games, Mario Kart, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Splatoon, ARMS, the frame rates are fantastic. 60 frames per second minimum or a steady 30 frames per second in all of those games. I don't really have any problems with frame rates in those games. No performance problems whatsoever. They all play fine and they're all decent games. And you're only going to get them on Nintendo. So big up Nintendo for them games, obviously. I know when they do their first party thing, they're about this life and they always do it properly kind of thing. Now that first party games are out of the way, we're going to have to go on to third party. Now, when I say third party, I'm not talking about Doom and Skyrim because I know those games run quite well on the Nintendo Switch. I'm talking about all the games that come from Steam or let's say these indie games. A lot of them are quite decent. You got some RPGs there, you got some action games, hardly any driving games at all. But yeah, my main problem is the frame rate in some of these games is a bit sketchy. It's like they they didn't bother to optimize it for the NVIDIA processor that's within the Nintendo Switch, which upsets me sometimes because obviously there's a lot of good games on the PC, on Steam, which come on Switch, and I'm like, wow, they come on Switch and I've already got 4 controllers, now it's not a long thing. But then they come with their performance problems, and I'm just like, yo, what's really good? And if you want examples, I'll give you an example. You got Rhyme. Rhyme looked like a deep game for me to play, but I heard people continuously cussing out the performance issues on the game, and I'm like, wow, such a big, beautiful game that kind of looks like Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it's got all these performance issues. We're in 2018, and we're having lag on games that are offline, let alone online. We're having lag on games that are offline. That's mad to me. I can't really deep that yet, but yeah, we're in 2018, and I just wish Nintendo would probably, you know, quality control some of the games that come onto the Switch, or perhaps, I don't know, help the developers in, you know, developing the game and making it run a lot smoother. But yeah, you know, that's my little rant over for third-party games. Apart from that, I love the fact that a lot of Steam games from the Steam library are coming over to Switch, slowly migrating. And in this year, they've done a ton of games. Like, when I think about this time last year, there was hardly anything on the Switch. And that was okay because I was playing Breath of the Wild for like the next 3 months. But right now, there's a lot of indie titles, a lot of Steam games that have been transferred over, and a lot of stuff that's still coming over to the Switch. Now, we was talking about online. Online, okay, I'll do it like this. The online works. You can get online, the servers always work, and you can always find a game to play with. But it feels like you might as well be playing against the AI because you can't really talk to anyone online. You can't send messages to anyone online without going through, you know, Discord or Skype or even using Facebook Messenger or calling your friend. Which for me, that's the whole online experience, you know, going online, talking to someone, playing a game with them, you know, chatting your crap to them like, I'm going to kill you, blah, 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 blah. And you don't really get that with Nintendo. Yeah, Payday 2 is absolutely lit. But it's a hard game to play co-op with when you can't actually talk to your friends or you can't talk to your teammates. Why are we all playing in silence, you know? But yeah, guys, to conclude, was it worth it? I've had the thing for a year now. I've had my rant about the kickstand. I've had my rant about the third-party games. I've had my rant about, you know, the calm battery life kind of thing. But I still think it's worth it. I'm very biased. Since I played Breath of the Wild, and I played it at all those preview events, I knew that the console was worth it for me. Even if I was just going to buy Breath of the Wild and I was going to sell it, I knew that the console was worth it for me. But with all the other third-party games and all the first-party games that have come out, I think it's reinforced the fact that the game is, you know, the console itself is worth it. One thing that isn't worth it is the price that they're asking for everything that you're going to buy. Games are like £60 each for the Nintendo Switch. That's mad. That's actually mind-boggling. Joy-Cons. A pair of Joy-Cons are £75 for a pair of Joy-Cons. When a game comes out on PS4 and Xbox One, it's about £40. But when it comes out on the Switch, there's like some random Switch tax. And it goes up to like £48 or £45. And I'm like, why? Why is man paying an extra £5? I think Rocket League is what, £10 everywhere else? But on Nintendo Switch it's £18? I don't feel it. I was with Nintendo for the Nintendo GameCube. Not because I wanted a GameCube, but because it was the cheaper option of the PS2 and the Xbox. And my mum and pops were like, look, you can get the cheapest one or you can get nothing. And that's when a man became Team Nintendo. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. You know, hopefully you like the video. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. But if you do, give it a thumbs up. And, you know, man will catch you in the next one. Jamo out.